So, you've walked the Sword Coast, right? You faced down Saravak, saved a city, and you think you know the story of Baldur's Gate. But what if I told you the companions you trusted and the very quest you were on were built on a foundation of secrets? What if the truth of your own dark heritage has been buried for decades, just waiting for someone to dig it up? Today, we're stepping into the shadows to uncover 5 shocking truths from Baldur's Gate 1 that will completely change how you see the game. Long before the game ever hit store shelves, a special promotional comic introduced the world to some of its heroes. It had familiar faces like Kajantis and Kivon, but their personalities were, well, a little off. The weirdest change was to Tiax.
Yo! Tiax would speak at you, but 'tis destined to be so.
The tiny cleric and thief. In the game, he's a raving, sociopathic follower of Cyric, the god of lies. But in this comic, he's just a standard, kind of grumpy adventurer, with zero hint of his dangerous god complex. This comic gives us a rare peek into an alternate reality, a look at early character ideas before they became the complex and often deeply disturbed figures we know and love. It just goes to show how much the game's iconic lore was still changing right up to its release.
Something. Aye, who's there now? More smithing? Or did ye burrow into another river?
Candlekeep is way more than just a tutorial level. It's a fortress of secrets. We all know it as our character's childhood home, the huge library where our mentor Gorion raised you. But its history runs so much deeper. This library fortress is one of the most protected places in the entire Forgotten Realms, guarded by incredibly powerful magic and an order of dedicated monks. You know that entry fee? A book that isn't already in their collection? That isn't just a clever quest mechanic. It shows you just how fanatically devoted they are to knowledge. The sages themselves have hidden pasts, and the fortress is filled with its own mysteries, from ghostly visions to portals that can zip you to faraway lands. It's a place literally overflowing with forbidden knowledge, which is a pretty fitting start for a hero whose own story is the biggest secret of them all. The companions in Baldur's Gate 1 were absolutely revolutionary for their time. These weren't just walking stat sheets. They had personalities, their own goals, and they actually talked to each other. The constant bickering between the dutiful Khalid and the headstrong Jaheira, who were a married couple, brought a whole new level of realism to your party. And then you had Minsk, the incredibly sincere ranger who got all of his best advice from a miniature giant space hamster named Boo. These characters had a depth that was almost unheard of in RPGs back then. They had their own quests, hidden backgrounds, and unique ways of interacting that just made them feel alive. This focus on deep character stories really laid the foundation for the character-driven RPGs we've been playing for decades since.
Stand and deliver, that my hamster might have a better look at you.
Now here's something wild. While Baldur's Gate used the established Dungeons & Dragons setting of the Forgotten Realms, its story was so good that it actually started changing the official source material. The game's version of the city, its original characters, and most importantly, the entire Bhaalspawn plotline became so popular that they were officially written into D&D canon. This means your adventure wasn't just some self-contained story. It became a cornerstone of the whole universe. The events of Baldur's Gate are now historical facts in the world of D&D, referenced in official books and later games. It cemented its legacy, not just as a great game, but as a crucial chapter in a much, much bigger story. This is it, the secret the entire saga is built on. You're not just an orphan raised by a kind old mage. You are a Bhaalspawn, a child of the dead god of murder. This secret is dropped on you late in the game, in a letter from your slain foster father, Gorion. He explains that during the time of troubles, the god Bhaal knew he was going to die. So he fathered countless children all over the world, putting a piece of his divine essence into every one of them. Your incredible strength, your quick reflexes, that feeling you always had that you were just different? That's the divine blood pumping through your veins. This reveal changes everything. The Iron Crisis, the bandits, Saravok's master plan. It was all a hunt. A deadly competition between the children of Bhaal, with the ultimate prize being their father's empty throne. Your journey was never about getting justice for Gorion. It was about surviving a divine, bloody war you never even knew you were a part of. From companions who could have been completely different people, to your own terrible, divine heritage. The world of Baldur's Gate is so much darker and more intricate than it looks on the surface. These secrets aren't just extra flavor. They're the very foundation of this epic story. So, which of these secrets shocked you the most? Was it the truth about your own bloodline? Or the fact that old crazy Tiax was almost some regular dude? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you love digging up gaming's biggest secrets, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the lost lore of classic RPGs. Alright my friends, thanks for watching.